The Game Awards are upon us, a time to celebrate the best of the best games released throughout the year. It is no surprise that last year, Elden Ring won it all. It was one of the most anticipated games of all time. And this year, we have some really nice selections, ranging from Alan Wake 2, to Baldur's Gate 3, to Tears of the Kingdom. If you look at all the nominees here, one could argue for each. With that being said, I think there is one game, however, that was snubbed from a spot, and that game is Final Fantasy XVI. The newest entry to a mainline Final Fantasy game was a hit with high praise and criticism all in one. With what could be argued to be the best demo of all time, the hype was through the roof. At least it seemed that way.
Dude, holy that was incredible. The narrative so far, I am completely blown away already. What just happened? I've never felt that.
I agree with everything Esfand said here. It begs the question then, why was 16 not included as a Game of the Year nomination? The demo was incredible, and after clearing the game multiple times on the hardest difficulties, I can say it truly left me satisfied. I was hurt when certain characters died, and was so happy when heroes returned. It did an incredible job at telling a story while providing fun, challenging combat all in one. You can vote for best music score, narrative, and more for it, yet looking at the list, it's not a nominee for Game of the Year, and I think it should be. Super Mario was really fun and nice, but it didn't really add anything revolutionary to its genre. It simply improved upon what it already did great. Final Fantasy XVI was revolutionary for the series. It added some of the best storytelling elements I've ever seen in any RPG period. From giant kaiju battles to action-packed gameplay and so much more, I truly thought this would be the Final Fantasy to bring the series back. Even games like Resident Evil 4, which don't get me wrong, is a fantastic game, but why is it on this list? This is a remake of a game that was already remastered and redone several times throughout its initial release way back when. And yet an original game like Final Fantasy XVI isn't even a nominee. So what held 16 back? It sold 3 million copies within its first week. It was praised by critics for its story, graphics, and gameplay, but did have some criticism for lacking core RPG elements, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it did have some tech issues and the side quests were a little boring. I think overall, the intense combat is what held it back. As an old school Final Fantasy player, I can certainly understand the want for having turn-based return to a mainline series game, but with how intense the story was for Final Fantasy XVI and how the story was told, I don't think turn-based would have fit. And I think if they would have done an in-between, kind of like how the Final Fantasy VII remakes did it, it would be too similar. So I think going with the Devil May Cry style combat truly fit it here, and I really enjoyed it. But I do think that's the downfall. 16 tried something new in a series where maybe they should have just listened to their fans and went back to their roots. Either way, I think it's a little insulting that they did not at least get a nomination. In the end though, we all know it won't matter because Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win it all, and it deserves it. Larian Studios truly created a masterpiece with Baldur's Gate 3, and if BG3 doesn't win and Zelda wins as well, I'd be okay. BG3 doesn't win, if Zelda doesn't win, then this shit's rigged. Anyway, I'm Ronan, thanks for listening to my little rant, I'll see you on the next one, bye bye.